Welcome to Malifaux University. 304, choosing schemes and starting the game. Now that the models are on the table, we have to choose our schemes and then start the game. For the players who are experienced enough to use the knowledge of the opponent's crew to shape their personal gameplay, this is when you try to predict what schemes your opponent will pick and how you might counter those while scoring points in your own schemes. For the rest of us, you now pick 2 schemes from the pool of 5. You hopefully took the available schemes into consideration when you were hiring your crew, if you have enough models to make choices like that. If you don't have models that are particularly strong in combat, but are capable at moving great distances, consider schemes that involve placing models in certain areas of the playing area over schemes that involve killing enemy models. If you have models that manipulate scheme markers effectively, there are schemes that play to those strengths as well. Pick any 2 schemes and keep them a secret from your opponent. As discussed in the previous video, you are not required to write down which schemes you select, but it's a good practice and good sportsmanship to do so. Some schemes require you to select a certain model you intend to kill or manipulate for points. This should always be written down, so it may be revealed at the proper time. Details and examples of scoring each strategy and scheme are in the 500 series of videos. In the Crew Builder app, tap the Select My Schemes checkbox. This will drop down each of the 5 schemes in the pool for your game. Tapping any of their names will pop up an explanation of how that scheme can be scored. Keep in mind that your schemes will not be shared with your opponent, and you will not see your opponent's schemes in your app until they are revealed and you start scoring. Some schemes require you to target a specific model in your crew or your opponent's crew. In this game, Take Prisoner is a scheme like this. If you select one of these, a pop-up will require you to make that selection now. The cool feature is that since you will have already imported your opponent's crew, it provides a list of the models eligible for this scheme. In this way, you don't give away what your scheme is by asking your opponent to see her stat cards. After you select a model and hit OK, you can always check to see which model you targeted for the scheme by tapping the name of the scheme again. The target model now appears in the description of the scheme. Remember that if there are multiple copies of your target model on the board, you are targeting a specific one. In this example, we selected a Stitch Together. There are 3 in the Dreamer's crew, but only the first one is eligible for scoring the scheme because that's the one we picked in the app. Stitch Together 2 and Stitch Together 3 don't count. With models deployed and schemes selected, both players return any cards used to set up the game back into their decks and shuffle. Each player lets the opponent cut his deck. You don't have to cut your opponent's deck, but you must always offer to let your opponent cut. This is the final moment before the beginning of turn 1. If any models in play have any abilities or effects that say, at the start of the game, or after deployment, now is the time for them to take place. One common example is the From the Shadows ability, possessed by several models. This ability states, this model may be deployed at the start of the game rather than during deployment. If the Dreamer had hired the versatile Neverborn enforcer Tuco Ortega into his crew, he would have kept Tuco on the side of the playing area while deploying. After the decks were shuffled and the game about to begin, he would place Tuco anywhere on the table at least 6 inches away from the enemy deployment zone. If there are multiple models that have abilities to resolve at this time, the attacker determines the order they are resolved. Let's say the Colette Dubois crew hired a December Acolyte out of Keyword. This model also has the From the Shadows ability. The Arcanist player gets to choose the order these models are deployed. Maybe he wants to make sure he gets a key sniping position and chooses his own model first. Or maybe he wants Tuco to go first, so he can put the December Acolyte in a position to neutralize Tuco. This is another privilege of being the attacker. The next video will discuss everything that happens in the start phase of each turn. That's the overview of choosing your schemes and starting the game. Pick up a printable set of all the markers and tokens you need to play Malifaux in the Wargames Vault. If you haven't already, join our Patreon for early, ad-free access to all new content, and be sure to visit the Malifaux University gift shop for the latest in Malifaux-themed shirts, hoodies, drinkware, and more. Links are in the notes below. And remember, play friendly games, keep it simple, and have fun.